Hi, welcome to The Cooking Show. I'm your host, Brenton George, and let's get started. First of all, we'll need an ingredients list. So, of course, you'll need your jalapenos. Next up, you will need your nice pickles. You can get them unsliced if you want, a little bit less expensive. You can also go for the mayonnaise. This is a very key ingredient, adds a lot of flavor, as well as this chocolate syrup. Gotta get a lot of that sweet in there. Now, we also have the Heinz tomato ketchup. This will be a pungent taste in our meal, as well as the regular hot dog mustard and Hidden Valley ranch. All of these will be nice flavors in combination with the strawberries and the ham. But of course, every sandwich begins with a base, the bread. Now, I personally prefer this whole wheat mini sliced bread. Lots of nutrients, lots of just, it's very good bread. On point bread. Highly recommended for any sandwich. So as any sandwich begins, you have the meat. So we are using Deli Fresh honey, uncured ham. Very nice choice for any sandwich. Now I'm going to take about 3 slices of this stuff and open up the sandwich, take the ham and fold it as such into corners just like this. And using this formation, you are going to nicely turn it into a ham-packed sandwich. Now, you might be thinking that we are just making a regular ham sandwich, but the real part of this is what goes on inside the sandwich. So next up, what goes good with any ham sandwich is strawberries. I know you were just about to say that. So using one of the 2 utensils that we will need, a cutting knife, we're going to take 1 strawberry. So I prefer to grab it with 2 hands, take the green flower part, turn it into a thing, turn it like such so it doesn't get in the way, and chop off that very top part. Now, this really helps, and now all you're going to do is just cut it like such. Now, once you've cut up your strawberries, you're going to open up the sandwich and place them around. You can discard this top bit as it does not sit flush, and the sandwich will not look as good if you throw that in there. Now, feel free to intertwine it with the ham like such to get the nice rich bites of strawberry flavor with every bite. Now, the sandwich is not yet finished because we still have the pickles. Now, remember, I said that you can get them unsliced, which makes this even more fun. So now, all we need is one more ingredient, is take the knife and just fish out a pickle. Now then, that way you don't have to waste a fork getting it out. Make sure to close your cap whenever you're done so you do not waste the pickles. Now, using any surface as a cutting thing, like this, you're going to simply cut the pickles. You can get pre-sliced bigger pickles, but they are generally more expensive. These are very nutritious and go very well with ham and strawberries. Now then, all you're going to do is just sprinkle these nice little pickles all over this sandwich. Now then, next up, we are going to make the creme de la creme of the sandwich, which is the sauce. Now, let's talk about what you need. So, for the sauce, we are going to start with the base of this, the very flavorful Heinz ketchup. Go ahead and pop this open and just squirt about yay much. Just a few seconds worth of squirting. Now then, we will need a spoon to mix this up. Next, once you have your spoon, going to grab the mustard, and you are going to do, make sure to shake it. That is what happens if you do not shake it very, very firmly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and squirt the mustard straight on top of the ketchup. Do not squirt it around. You want it to go straight on top of that ketchup. Do not do quite as much. And we're going to go ahead and mix it together. Now, as you can see, the sauce is already looking fantastic. Now, you don't want to go overboard with how much you use. Next up is the mayonnaise. This is a very pungent flavor in this. Go ahead and just get a little bit, even if you're just like spritzing a little bit of mayonnaise in there. And then you're going to go ahead and mix that in as well. Next, you have the ranch dressing. Now, this is a very big flavor. You're going to want to get a lot of that stuff in there. Just keep it going in. Now, you're going to get about as much of the ketchup and mustard combined. worth of ranch dressing. You're going to want to mix that in there as well. Now, as you can tell, this is a very, very delicious, very nice looking sauce. But now, of course, the sweetener. The Hershey's chocolate syrup. We're going to want to just sprinkle some of that in there. Not too much, but just enough to overpower all these flavors that we put in. Not too much. And finally, mixing all of this beauty together. Now, when you're left, you should have a nice, delicious looking, brown looking sauce. Now, this goes great with all the flavors that we have already added to our sandwich. So now that we have this done, let's bring back the sandwich. Now, one more thing that we do need to add is some jalapenos. Now then, using the knife, come in and grab one singular jalapeno. Do not want to overpower all the beautiful flavors, and just place it perfectly on top, like such. Next, bring in the sauce. Take the sauce, and using the spoon that we have earlier, scoop some of it out, and just drizzle it artistically on top of your sandwich. Now, I can promise you that this will make the most delicious sandwich that you have ever had. Once you drizzle it on top, just take the top and squish it down in there. And now you can enjoy the beautiful sandwich that you have made that is sure to fill your appetite. So as you can see, this is a beauty.
Welcome back. This is your second dish of the night. Today we'll be making a soup. So you will need, first of all, water, cheese, mushroom, ranch, Parmesan, pickles, jalapenos, ketchup, and always mayonnaise. Alright, now that we have added water to our bowl, we will start out with some cheese. Alright. Sorry, my producer is being crazy in the background. So, what we want to do is you want to take about 3/4 of some cheese. You just want to break it up and drop it in. Just break it up, drop it in. Now that all the cheese is in the bowl, we will go to the mushrooms. So simply unwrap the mushrooms. And grab about two or three, and drop them in. They should float. If they don't float, they're not ripe. After this, after we have the mushrooms and the cheese in, we will start the mushrooms and the cheese. We will start with more cheese, always with the cheese. So we will have some Parmesan, just sprinkle a little bit in there. It should, there we go, just like that. It should kind of cradle the mushrooms. Next, we are going to use some very quality ranch dressing. So remember, always go heavy on the ranch. Make sure you always put the ranch on top of the mushrooms, like so. Now that the ranch is in, we will start with our other ingredients. The Heinz ketchup. Again, top of the mushrooms. And always the mayonnaise. Should be kind of like a shotgun, you know, like a. There we go. Now, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to get my producer to get me a knife, and I'm going to fish out a pickle. Simply drop it in. Then I'm going to pour a slight bit of the pickle juice into our soup. Now, don't forget, you will need this knife for later. Next, always, to top it off, the jalapenos. Again, fish out a jalapeno. Drop it in. With the slightest amount of juice. And always read the label. Now, our soup is made. you will simply stir for 5 solid minutes.
Welcome back, and finally we have our dessert. Now we are going to be making a cookie sandwich. So as you can see, we have 2 chocolate chip cookies in pristine condition. Now first, what are cookies without the most important ingredient, the milk? So let's get this cookie up here, open up the milk, and let's give this cookie a run for its money with the milk. As you can see, we have now milked the cookie, and now we must do the same for this one. Milk. Gotta have it. Now then, after you have sufficiently milked the cookies, you're going to want to take the cheese. Now, this will blend in nicely because it is a milk product. Take the cheese, pull it out. If it's moldy, that means it's just rich in flavor. Go ahead and put the cheese on top. This will enhance the milk flavor. So as you can see, just nice little threads. Don't be afraid to go a bit overboard on the moldy cheese. So, next what you're going to want to do is put some chocolate syrup on top of this. Chocolate syrup has always gone good with cookies and milk. Why can't it go good with cheese too? We just discriminate. Next up, you're going to want to take even more Parmesan cheese and just douse this thing in it. Really enhance the flavor. Ketchup has always been a base flavor for enhancing. Just going to want to shotgun some of that stuff straight on there. And finally, the ranch. This is a beautiful part of this. You want to take some of that, put it on there. And finally, take the top cookie and drop it on. And you've made yourself a nice cookie sandwich. Now, as you can see, this is delicious and very manageable to eat. Now then, let's go to town and let's finish off by dousing it in some more milk. As you can see, this is a beautiful cookie sandwich. And now finally for the first bite of the cookie. This is what we do with garbage like this.